Welcome to episode 45 of Spirit of an Athlete. I'm your host, Amanda Smith, creator of the Gutsy Chick Quiz at gutsychickquiz.com. If you are a female athlete who has some crazy, mysterious chronic health condition, go check out this quiz. It's fast, it's fun, and it will help you better understand how your mindset as an athlete might have helped you there, but is holding you back from healing. On this episode, I am covering the best of 2024 and giving you a peek into 2025. Are you ready? First off, thank you so much for listening to this podcast. It started January 23rd, 2024. And to date, we have obviously 45 episodes, and we can plan to continue into 2025, releasing one episode every Thursday. That's the plan. Let's hope it sticks. Here are some of my favorite stats from 2025. As of the recording of this episode, we have 716 listens, downloads on all major podcast platforms. On YouTube, we have, getting my stats up in front of my face, 1,066 downloads. YouTube apparently is winning. That's a total of 1,782 views, downloads, listens, whatever you want to call those things that we do in this podcasting world. So thank you. Because of you, I am going to continue creating episodes for Spirit of an Athlete, because these numbers continue to prove to me that you guys like what I'm doing. And I would love it if you would go let me know that a couple of different ways. Check out my social media and let me know you like the episode by liking the post or making a comment on the episode that you really like and what you liked on that episode. You could just simply say hi. There's also this cool new feature where you can message me and I will be able to chat back with you about the episode that you were watching, something that you liked about it, something you didn't like about it. Totally up to you how you want to interact with me. But man, it would be cool if you let me know. The likes let me know that what I'm putting out there is what you want to hear. The views and the downloads just let me know that you saw it or you heard it. So let me know what you like. Here are some other really cool numbers. We reached 4 continents and 17 countries. I think that's pretty cool. We had guests from the United States, from Australia, from Canada, from the United Kingdom, from New Zealand. And guess what? Those are the countries where people showed up. I also had viewers in Pakistan and Switzerland and, I'd have to look it up, but several other countries, 17 of them to be exact. Some of the most popular cities. Well, I'm not shocked about this, but right here in Colorado, we have Denver, Highlands Ranch, and Littleton in the top 5. Those are all right here near me, which is so cool because that means I probably know who you are. And then the other ones that are coming up are Gainesville, Virginia, and Vernon, Connecticut. And I have a feeling I know who you are also. So that's pretty cool. Through the guests that I had over 2024, I did 4 episodes that were me, which means I had 41 guests over 2024. We had several doctors, a couple of Olympians, several college athletes, a couple of my clients, some amazing people doing amazing things with the people that they're helping. And I want to highlight the top 5 episodes. Are you ready? Episode number 5 on this list is Stasia Rivera. Stasia and I talked about Gen Z and Gen Alpha and how they need to be coached as athletes. What I loved about this episode in particular was that we talked about how this generation wants to know why. They have to think differently because they've got all of the information at their fingertips in the form of a smartphone, and they can go look up information. They want to know why. Why are you asking me to run laps? Why are you having me do these ladders? Why? So, coaches, get on board with answering why. And go check out this episode if you want to know more of why that is from Stasia Rivera. She gives some phenomenal examples, and she talks about Maslow's hierarchy and how this is flipped for this generation, these 2 generations, and probably beyond. Instead of food, water, and shelter being their primary concerns, they have flipped it upside down and they just want to know why. This episode with Stasia is episode number 32. Number 4 on most viewed, downloaded, listened to is episode number 2 with Dr. Laurel Mines. Dr. Laurel Mines is a physical therapist who realized in her practice that she can't just focus on the physical. She has to help the athletes tackle the mental, or they will not complete their healing process. This is something her and I deeply believe. We know across the board, the only way for someone to complete their healing is to understand it physically, mentally, emotionally, and maybe even spiritually. Dr. Laurel and I talked about equipment and how this could be holding back your athletes' ability to believe in themselves, which is important when you're first starting to learn. And then we also talked about how she helps her athletes through her mindset pillars. Go check out episode number 2 with Dr. Laurel Mines to see what she shared. I also had a breakthrough in Dr. Laurel Mines' episode that has helped me. That episode aired on February 8th. We recorded it not long before that. So it's been a year of me having no knee pain because of the breakthrough that she helped me with on that episode. Go check it out. Okay, number 3 on most viewed, watched, downloaded is Lisa Richer. Lisa was part of Team USA Gymnastics back in the 80s and the 90s. This is when I watched gymnastics the most. Uh, Dawes, I can't think of her first name, was a huge name in USA Gymnastics at the time. On this episode, we talked about how gymnastics needed to change. And if you've paid any attention to what's been going on in gymnastics, particularly the last Olympics and the age of those Olympians versus the age of the Olympians back in the 80s and 90s. That was a topic we discussed. We also talked about mindset. This particular episode, I love the name of this episode on all the major podcasting platforms. Prioritizing mental health and inclusivity is the new face of gymnastics. Yeah, that gives you a really good idea of what we talked about. Number 2 on the most viewed, most watched, most all the things is Shawnee Harle. Coach Shawnee is the Canadian Olympic basketball assistant coach. She was the coach for an Olympic team. What I love about Shawnee is that she gives you quips and phrases that are sticky, and you'll remember them, and they will help you right away. In this particular episode, we talked about emotional storms. As an athlete, we have to be able to navigate emotional storms quickly, and teaching how to navigate them is what she covers in this episode. I plan on having Coach Harle back in 2025 so that we can go over her favorite letter, F. You'll learn more in 2025. Stay tuned. All right, the number one most viewed, most watched, most downloaded episode on Spirit of an Athlete is episode number 35 with Alissa Alter. Alissa cracked me up, to say the least. Alissa is a comedian, a professional ballerina, as well as a pelvic floor health specialist. We talked about the pelvic floor. We talked about how the pelvic floor is structured and how to make it work for you as an athlete and why it's important that it should function properly for you as an athlete, as well as a human. We talked about vaginas, people. And it was hilarious. And I can't wait to have Alissa back for a Valentine's Day episode this year. We will be talking more about the pelvic floor, diving deeper into this topic and why it's so unbelievably important for athletes to really understand this part of their anatomy and normalizing it. That was a big part of the episode in 2024, but it'll be an even bigger part in 2025. Which brings me to 2025. I'm planning to continue the same process that I did this last year, where we release one episode every Thursday. On Tuesdays in my social media, I'm going to throw back to an episode from 2024 that's relevant to the episode that's coming out in 2025. It can prep you for the episode coming. One of my favorite indulgences for 2025 is I'm hoping I can upgrade the visual. So if you've been watching on YouTube, which most of you have, a little over half of you have, you'll get to see a different background. Don't get me wrong, I love the background of what you guys have been seeing me in because it's very relevant to who I am, what I'm about. But in 2025, I'm hoping to have a real background instead of a green screen background. We'll see how that turns out. I know my editing team is excited for that because it's one less step they have to do. To my guests, to the 41 of you, thank you so unbelievably much for showing up, for sharing, for being a part of Spirit of an Athlete in big and small ways. I appreciate everything that you did to help me share the show, as well as share your knowledge and your gifts to the world. To those of you who have been listening or are just starting to listen now, thank you. Without you, I would not continue what I'm doing. I would really love it if you told me how much you like it, what you like, and who you'd like me to have on the show, and all of those cool things. So show up in the comments, whether that's YouTube or the podcasting tool you listen to me from. Show up. Let me know. Thank you again for listening to this episode and all the episodes from 2024. Thank you so much for listening to Spirit of an Athlete. If you want to find out what part of your mindset might be holding you back from healing, but has helped you as an athlete, go check out the Gutsy Chick Quiz at gutsychickquiz.com. And if you would like more of me, you can go to bodywhisperhealing.com and read my blog, check out other podcast episodes, find out how I work with my clients, and much more. Thanks for listening to this episode.